The eFIXX College Connection Roadshow is where?
Warrington Vale Road College.
Okay, because of my dyslexia, I always shuffle those words up. And I'm joined by eFIXX College Lecturer of the Year, Chris Horne, because this one's all about being inspired. And I think in the last 12 months, young man, you've been the most inspiring person out there, especially on LinkedIn. And now when I think about inspiring, I think about the great Carl Hill. And you know him from LinkedIn, but you're yet to meet him, are you?
I haven't met him yet. I'm really looking forward to today. So it'd be nice to come back on an old stomping ground.
You telling me that maybe back in the day, this is the college you went to?
Yes.
All right, okay, so...
It was still built there. Sorry,
well, yeah, I would imagine it had an asbestos
a little bit different
roof.
than
yeah,
this.
Yeah, and all the rest of it. I think we mentioned that before. Now, thinking about your training, was there anyone who inspired you during your process?
Yeah, there was a gentleman that was a lecturer here called Bill Gregory.
If we see him today, I'll be amazed.
I'll be amazed if I see Bill today, yeah.
And how many years are we going back to now?
That'll be 1979.
Okay, I was 5 years old when you were undertaking your apprenticeship. But it just shows you there are people in the educational system or at work that are inspiring the next generation of electricians. And if you can leave those as comments, we'll get back to as many as we can during the actual live show.
Course, yes.
But we couldn't bring it to you without the great support of our sponsors. Run through that list of sponsors for us, Chris.
Yeah.
I didn't give you the paperwork, did I?
They'll be at the bottom of the page.
Yeah, if I've edited it well, they'll be coming across it. And again, if you want to join in, pick a brand there that you're currently using or working with and you think is making a fantastic job as well. Because without the great support of those, we couldn't come to these colleges every,
right.
We come about 12 times a year, I think.
Yeah.
26 in total. Well, it's starting to rain. I think we should go back to the studios to see Apprentice taken on by Louise Tarling. Okay, she's got an inspiring story. So while we try and get a little bit drier and maybe try and bump into Carl, okay, we'll see what she had to do. Here at Lineside Studios, I have the absolute pleasure today to be joined by Lauren Bailey, who's working in the electrical industry and has got a really interesting story of how she managed to get into our wonderful industry. Hello, Lauren, welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Right, okay, so looking at you, I've already got it wrong off camera. I had you down for about 17, 18, just completing those A-levels, and I'm not actually correct. How old are you?
I am 22, even though, yeah, I do get misaged quite a lot.
Okay, which is a nice thing because I'm 27 and people think, oh, I look a lot older. Don't go there in the comments. So, okay, so there must be a story of what led you to working for Louise Tarling. Okay, so being the smart home electrician that we know predominantly from Instagram, which is across all the social media platforms. But let's wind back to maybe 16, 17-year-old Lauren. What was the idea when you were looking to leave your GCSEs? What did you want to do?
So I didn't really have a plan, sort of knew that I wanted to go to university or get a degree apprenticeship. So I went to sixth form, studied for A-levels, ended up actually dropping out.
Okay, breaking news. So you was that 1 year in or two?
It was just into the second year, so...
Did you get some AS levels to walk away with?
I did
Okay,
have
so you
AS
didn't drop out. I just did my AS levels. Let's repackage this, Lauren. Yeah, okay, so you did your AS, okay, so you've decided school's not for you, and it isn't for everybody. Now you've got to enter the big wide world. What was the choice then?
I ended up working with Louise and John. They know my dad, who's actually a carpenter. He asked them if I could do a little bit of work experience with them, see if sort of going into the electrical industry was for me. Turns out it was. Did about 6 months with them, then did another sort of switch, decided to...
So it sounded like you had a job with the people that are now currently employed. So you're saying after 6 months with John and Louise?
It was sort of part-time alongside another job.
Okay.
Went off to college, studied engineering for 2 years.
Engineering now, hang on a second. I've got a funny pattern here, we're dying, so we want to be an engineer now, is that the thinking? Right, okay. Is that because you felt that probably would lead on to an engineering degree? Is that what you were thinking? That makes sense, doesn't it?
The hope then was to either go to university or get a degree apprenticeship.
Okay.
At the end of the 2-year engineering course, which I did finish, I got a distinction, which was a good result for me. I started looking for degree apprenticeships, but as I was looking at job descriptions and going for interviews, like nothing was really exciting me and making me think, oh, I want to make a career out of this. Then I got a job with Sky. Let's put this a little bit all over the place.
No, so hang on, you've done the right thing. You've gone to college, you've got your engineering, you've passed with distinctions, you've bagged that qualification. You're now not going to necessarily take that on to more education, and you've ended up at Sky. How did you end up at Sky TV?
It sort of, as I was looking for jobs, it just popped up. I thought, oh, I'll give it a go. I wasn't necessarily expecting to get it. It was to be an installer, so I thought, do you know what? not had an amazing amount of luck with other things. I'll go for the interview, see if I get it or not. In the end, I did.
Now, I used to recommend to my students, when I taught back in the day and everyone said, I used to teach for 19 years, I recommended to my learners to go and try and take Sky as an option as a job.
Yeah.
Not only, obviously, is it a great job, you're working with your hands, you're obviously installing stuff, and it's very electrically looking to the people from the outside, but you also get that van, and you also probably get, I think, a free Sky package. Can you confirm when you got a free Sky package?
I can confirm. And yeah, my dad was pretty happy about having the sports on all the time.
And did he have Sky before you had that job?
No.
Right,
So
okay. I think Dad's now got a vested interest in you working for Sky. So you worked for Sky for about how long in the end?
About a year and 3 months.
Okay, and what made you change from that? Because I think it's a great job. I think it's a great package. I think they're a great company to work for. I might be wrong, but what made you, after that amount of time, 15 months, want to leave?
There were a lot of benefits to the job, but the main thing that sort of made me want to move on was the fact that I was by myself working all the time. Solo work didn't really suit me too well. So that was when I sort of got back in contact with Louise and John. That was actually through my dad being on a job with them. He was doing the carpentry work and they were installing a media room.
Yeah, and you say media room, so people are thinking, hang on, you're after an electrical job. You mentioned media room. This gets really super exciting because obviously Louise specialises really in the smart home aspect of the electrical installation. Still doing the standard wiring of sockets and lights, etc. But was that appealing to you, or was that just an actual added bonus?
It's an added bonus, but it was also very appealing too. You get a whole different sort of experience on site when you're on sort of the smart home side of things. So yeah, it's been great experience and I do enjoy that side of it.
Okay, so you're 22. Okay, so all those years have drifted away. Dad's now no longer got free Sky. Let's get it out there. Dad's having to pay for Sky, but they converted him into a Sky paying customer, didn't they? So they were chuffed a bit.
Unfortunately for his bank account.
Yeah, and mine. So I'm a platinum member or something, or diamond member. 25 years of unbroken service. Not had one free thing. We divulge. Let's come back to your story. So we're in this position now. So you can't have started an apprenticeship yet, because I think you joined them just missing the intake normally in a natural position, maybe in September, sort of early September.
Yeah, so I actually started up with Louise and John in January.
Right.
So I've had coming up to a year of like hands-on experience, and then within the past few months we've sort of properly had to look at getting me into the apprenticeship. And
okay, so let's unpack that then, so for people. So you've done nearly a year. Okay, so you could have naturally gone in to start that apprenticeship, as I thought you hadn't, in September time. Is that because then both parties get the option? You've got a nice try before you actually commit yourself. Yeah. You're an asset, so if you're really good, you obviously work for Sky for all that time. I would say to everyone, you're first of all the asset, and you offer it up as a trial maybe, or as an ongoing work experience when we used to do it and when we go into colleges. Because you might not like the employer, and why would you give up your time and your effort to work for somebody you aren't happy with? I take it that relationship is now a relationship that both sides of the party wanted to convert into an apprenticeship?
Yeah.
It's
mutually
good.
beneficial.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like that. You're very polite, and you're mutually beneficial. So there's a benefit to Louise and her business that she believes, with you involved, Lauren, that she can grow that business. But equally, you're going to get something out of it. So you might only get the apprenticeship as well. So they might say after 4 years that actually your time with us is finished, but you've got the qualification, or you might decide that onto bigger and better things yourself. Now, when are you going to start that apprenticeship now then, with almost doing a year's trial? So we're coming towards the end of 2023. When do you think you'll start that?
So I actually have a start date set in. It's the 9th of February. So, yeah.
Oh, right, okay. So your college actually drops them on and off at different times then. You're really handy for that. Do you know what college you'll be going to?
Harlow College. So.
Okay. 4-year apprenticeship, AM2S at the end and all the rest of it? Okay, so a little bit older, 22. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think people, when they find their place in the world, you're going to have to work. I'm going to break the news to you on camera here, probably until you're 70, which makes you my age. So probably up to about the age of 70, and it right to find the right job. So leaving school, you didn't exactly know what you want to do. Do you think you've got the right job now?
I do believe I have, yeah. I don't ever come home from work and think, do you know what, I don't want to go in tomorrow. That's not something that's crossed my mind since I've been with Louise and John, so yeah.
That's good.
Yeah,
and I used to say to my learners when I used to teach them, if it doesn't feel like you're going to work and you enjoy doing it, that's got to be the best thing in the world. And if you can go earn yourself some money but actually enjoy it while you're doing it, that doesn't feel like work, so you don't feel like you have to, it's a chore to do it. Yeah. Thank you ever so much for your time. I've got a few little gifts from you. Lasico have been supporting our apprentice on the way around. So we've got a head torch, because no doubt being maybe the youngest member of your team, you'll find yourself in a few lofts. I've got the eFIXX hat and safe isolation kit as well. But thank you ever so much for telling us your story and inspiring some of the other people that maybe don't know what they're going to do. There's no rush, is is that, 22? You know, you're in those late 20s, okay, cruising into your 50s like the rest of it. But enjoy your time. It'd be nice to see you. Obviously, we'll see you online, one, because Louise does a lot of stuff on Instagram. We'll actually see that apprenticeship go all the way through. So thank you very much for your time.
There'll be some posts.
There will be, yes, if John's got anything to do with it. John's a cameraman. Yeah. So I'm sure we'll all agree that was an inspiring story from Lauren and how she got her apprenticeships. But when I think about inspiring people, Carl, I came to this college probably 12 months ago within that period of time, and you stood out that year amongst all the other college lecturers that I saw in that cycle because of all the things you were doing to improve the learning journey for the people at this college. So, Carl, thank you ever so much for joining me.
Not a problem.
And we're going to pull into some of those things that you're doing that I didn't see at every other college up and down the country. So, talk me through what you believe will set you aside from the work you've done and the improvements you've made for this college.
So we've got various industry organisations involved, such as NAPIT and the Electrical Contractors Association. We've joined both as an educational partner and as a student member, which gives us full access to their sites and the services that they provide a paid member.
Okay, so for those people maybe watching this at their college aren't members of these things, let's think about the ECA. Obviously, that's a large body that oversees the whole of the industry. What's the benefits to the college and the students for joining the ECA? What do they see as a first, or what makes it better for them?
So we can go on and see what the ECA are lobbying Parliament about for changes to electrical standards. We can also access the test certificates for our level 3s. We can access all the health and safety worksheets that they offer normal contractors, and we can integrate that within the level 1, 2 and 3 curriculum.
So straight away they're working with industry standard documentation. It means also you've probably not got to conjure up your own, you can use the standard forms as well. There's a lot of really good stuff they've got on risk assessments and that as well, and they're around AFDDs and all the rest of it. Now, am I right in thinking that, say, something changing the regulations, or maybe you're upskilling yourself to do solar battery or something like that within the team, have you also got access to the helplines that the ECA and NAPIT also have?
We do, yeah, and we have a regional contact as well who we can phone up and have a chat to, and they can advise us as well.
Well, that's a really good support, not only for the students, but obviously for the lecturers themselves. Think about the wider community again. What are the things that I know you do, I just want you to say them, that obviously make it a better place to turn up to learn than other colleges?
So we kind of get involved as well with various charities that are associated with the construction trade, such as the Lighthouse mental health charity, because we've found, numerous learners now suffer with things like anxiety. Some may not have been in education for a while, and then coming into a college setting where there's 30 odd other learners in the room can be a bit overwhelming for them. So we have mental health first aiders within the college, and are backed up by welfare and wellbeing team.
You've got those teams here on site, obviously, to help, as well as the safeguarding team. And I don't want to say it's new, because it's not, but you think back when we trained many moons ago, not as far as Chris, because obviously that goes back to the dawn of electricity itself, but there would have been people in that room maybe struggling with dyslexia that wasn't identified, maybe ADHD, and certainly some of those mental health issues. Isn't it refreshing to think that you can come to college and actually get the support you need to be both successful on the course but also successful in life?
Yeah. When I was studying, ADHD wasn't known as ADHD, you just were classed as hyperactive, and that's something I still suffer with. So actually, it being recognised and having teachers made aware of symptoms and how they can help things and make the learning environment better for them by meeting the learners where they are, as opposed to being, expected to conform to a given set of rules that applies to all. Teachers can now adapt how they teach various learners.
Yeah, absolutely. And you said to me that there was a couple of CPDs linked to that, so obviously there can be some sort of learning process for people as well, and you get a certificate. Can you explain the couple that you're aware of?
Yep, there's the one that you do with Joe, the eFIXX mental health one.
Yes.
And Lighthouse also do a full range of mental health CPD videos, which we are starting to include in our tutorial sessions.
Yeah, that's really key, isn't it? In blending the tutorial actually into the wider spectrum, because it's actually the electrical staff that deliver the tutorials, am I right in thinking?
It is, yeah.
Now, to start with, I thought that was a waste of your talent, Carl, actually, being an electrician and obviously the tutor of electrical studies. But you actually said to me it's actually a really big benefit. Can you just give us one of those examples that you've talked about off camera?
So basically, The last time students were kind of asked their opinion was never.
Right.
So in tutorial we say it's a free and open space to say what they think, as long as it's respectful, and if they're not sure how to word something or phrase it, then to ask. And we want a good healthy debate, but we want the actual opinions, not what they think they should think. So if they disagree with something, why do they disagree with it? Not there to necessarily change their minds, but they can appreciate that they may not disagree with it, but somebody who may agree with whatever we're talking about can put their point across.
Yeah, and I found those sessions when I taught were quite difficult because we sent them away from the electrical team to somebody else where there's a new set of rules and relationship with that tutor. But to actually keep it in-house is actually a massive benefit, and not a waste of the great lecturer that you are in the electrical industry, but actually is a benefit both sides of that coin to you.
Yeah, it gets to know the learners a lot better, and you can then meet them where they're at. I have one learner who's very anxious about things, suffers with ADHD. Me turning up with a clown's hat on, he thinks is brilliant, or dressing up, or making it a bit more fun, making it the wackiest thing he's ever seen, is where that learner's at. And if that gets those learners through, then that's where I'll meet them.
Yeah, I do like that. That's something a lot of people can take on board as well. We also pay, from my experience in FE, we often pay lip service to some of the things that, say, rotate around. Maybe there's an awareness of something weak, etc. But when I walk around your college, it's sprayed all over the walls, and it's actually there for all time and not just for that one moment in time. Can you just give us some examples of like what I can see walking around your college?
So we have the LGBTQT plus community. They meet every fortnightly. I pop into sessions as well to try and get, and encourage it in construction, to get, people involved with it if they like to. They're not forced to. It's just what we put on there for them. There's various kind of team building clubs we have going on as well. So like a craft club on a Thursday. Just to, make, if you're new to the college, make new friends. Outside of your classroom.
There was enrichment stuff I saw going on. You've got a big interactive board, which again, I've not seen at any other college, a massive effectively TV, and it was scrolling through all the extra stuff I could do, whether that be enrichment, football teams that I can come and play for as well.
Yep, girls and boys.
That's where we should be in this day and age. And what I felt when I came to this college, it was for everyone. It wasn't for what we stereotypically think as an electrician. If I said to you, describe an electrician to me, what would you probably say an electrician looks like?
Typical response is white male.
Yeah, okay. And I got a feeling that when we come to this college, especially through the hard work that you've done, whoever turns up, they're actually going to get a wonderful learning experience and hopefully come out the other side. Maybe not as an electrician, because I don't think any course should actually be defined as the course that you think you're going to do, but actually increase the person's well-being, give them plenty of opportunities to be themselves. And actually, if they want to be an electrician, that's great, but there's certainly other avenues that the college can send them down to if it wasn't necessarily what they wanted first time round. And it is absolute testament to you. I can say this because you're on the camera, I'm not going to stop it. Carl, when I met you, you were an incredibly inspiring person, and I've spent more than 12 months waiting forward to come back to see you again so you could tell some of the great things you're doing. Just keep it up, because you are special within our industry. Thank you ever so much, Carl.
Okay, thanks very much for that, Gary and Carl. That was really inspiring. It's certainly a different way of doing things. Really, really good. I'll do it like that. So we've got Morgan. Morgan, how are you?
Right, thank you.
Oh, good. And you've been at the college for how long?
I did my level 1 last year. I'm on my second year now.
Oh, very good. So you're progressing from level 1 to level 2. Have you taken any exams at the level 2 stage?
Yeah, I recently just did my health and safety and passed.
Good on you. Well done. Any more for the future for Christmas?
Yeah, I've got my communication on the 13th.
Well, I wish you all the best. You've got to work hard at it, but you'll pass it. This industry is massive. It's huge. So what really sort of inspired you to come to Warrington Vale Royal College?
Well, in year 10 and 11, I did my engineering course, and I did really well on that.
Okay.
So I came to an open evening, and there was this tutor called David Little, and he sold out the electrical course to me. So.
Okay. So that's when you signed on the dotted line. Okay, so you signed on the dotted line, and you came to the college and did level 1, completed that, which is brilliant, and then now you're on the level 2. So where do you want to get to?
I want to finish my level 2, get on to level 3, and then get an apprenticeship and try and get with my granddad in the power plant.
Oh, right. So your granddad's in the industry as well, is he? So you want to keep it in the family?
Yeah.
and keep going as an electrician. We've been sat in the boardroom here now, and what lessons have I actually taken you out of?
I'm not actually in today. This is my day off, so I thought I'd come in and just...
To come in and see me. Is it the inspiring side of me, or is it the inspiring side of Carl that you've come to see?
Both.
Okay, that's a good answer. That is a good answer.
To get a learner to come in on their days off to see us, or effectively you, what a fantastic reflection of Morgan, and I would say a reflection of this college in its entirety. And we can't show you all the great practice going on here. We've had obviously a little sneak peek of it, but it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really, really good. How Morgan's just come in on a not a day off, because you don't have a day off. It's just a day that she doesn't come to college, and she's come down and had a chat with us, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it's great to see the pictures of her work as well. But you've got something in front of you here that can add some value to this college, and we're trying to roll this out across other colleges as well. You've also given a set away at yours?
Yeah, we've given a set away that you kindly donated to us. eFIXX College Connections Full-Time Learner of the Year, and also an Apprentice of the Year, which, you know, is another thing that can inspire a student. And as a college, and even talking from Warrington and Vale Road College, you know, we really, really do thank you as a full company, and yourself, Gary, for giving these away and to our new students.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't envy Warrington actually giving these away, because as we've gone through those workshops and see those learners, would you like to pick out just one student for each of the awards? I think they could have had a dozen and easily given them all away.
Yeah.
And it suggests from behind them, they're used to winning trophies, but these ones are actually going home with the students, and we'd like to think they'll probably add it to their CVs and obviously bulk up their chances of maybe getting a job in the industry if they're a full-time learner, obviously celebrating their great apprentices as well. However, when we talk about celebrating it, we couldn't bring these eFIXX College Connections live, and when I say live, we're actually live in the comments to you, unless we had the support of the following people. Who are they? Can you remember? Yeah, you've got to remember that piece of paper. What are you expecting me to do?
Can you edit it and just put it in the bottom, Gas?
Obviously, all the people rolling across underneath us here are supporting the eFIXX College Connections, and we thank them for their support throughout 2023. And we couldn't get out to them. We've gone unofficially with a couple of 3 that you've done as well.
Yeah.
We've gone to 29 colleges. I've done 26 and you've done 3, supporting learners all across the UK. And we're going to continue this on in 2024. If you're not involved in an eFIXX College Connection, the link is in the description. And we thank everybody that joined us on this live. Okay, and I thank you also, because hopefully you were in the comments as this one went through.
I will be. I certainly will be in the comments, yeah.
You haven't got much longer left before you're no longer eFIXX College Lecturer of the Year 2023. However, that award doesn't come up until late 2024, so I think you can swing it through for a little bit longer.
Well, I'll enjoy it for a little bit more longer, because I've enjoyed every single millisecond of it, Gaz.
You have, and you've proved that as your way through. So we thank all the inspiring people here at college, as well as the great Carl Hill. Hopefully you think the same as me about what a wonderful gentleman he is. So thank you very much, and we're out. We're done.
We're done.